Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I posted this picture some time ago and you can see some shorts on this one. So I'm going to show you how I put this together. And these are the inks that I used, Bombay inks. I love these. However, you have to be careful when you lay them on paper because these will dry kind of fast. And if you're not careful, you can make a stain on the paper, and if you don't work fast enough or if you don't know exactly where everything's going to go, then it's going to be kind of permanent and it's going to be hard to remove it. And I have had some accidents with them before, so that's what I'm telling you. So stay tuned for that and let me know what you think about the process, and we'll talk after this. Bye. Here we go. So this is how I started this one. I start by wetting the paper just a little bit and I spritz it with a little bit of water. Now this is 300 cold press watercolor paper, so it's kind of thick. I know that sometimes you want to what they call stretch the paper, and that's when you wet the paper back and on the back and on the front and let it sit for a little bit or for overnight until the paper is back flat again, so that when you start painting it doesn't warp as much. But with this paper being a 300-pound cold press, it doesn't really warp really that much. I mean, it bows a little bit, but really not. I mean, it's really not that noticeable. But I love this paper. So yeah, and as you can see, it has a tooth. So that's what I love about this kind of watercolor paper. And right here, I'm using the India ink, Bombay inks, and I'm laying out the clouds. What I love about these paints too is that you can layer them, and you can do it light to dark, dark to light. It doesn't matter, but I just love the effect. So it's one of the things that I love to paint with. I love watercolor, but sometimes they're a little hard to sorry, I have my cats in here, and as I'm recording this, and we have Shadow here who likes to bite on cables, so I'm trying to stop him here. But yeah, this is I wanted to create some kind of a movement with the clouds, and I painted them in going in two different directions just so it would have some kind of movement, and you're not supposed to just having them straight across. So you can see, and let me see. Another thing too that I noticed is that a lot of people don't like to tape the paper down, and as you can see, I created like a 1/4 inch of a border all around it. And I don't know why, but I love the effect after you finish everything and you peel the tape off and you have that frame around the painting. And usually I use it as a guide if I'm going to use a mat board to put the painting in, and you know, that's when I know where to cut the board. But either way, I like the postcard look of it, and some people don't like it, but you know, I'm like, if you like it, do it. You don't really have to, and just lay the paper down or use some kind of double-sided tape to keep the paper steady so it doesn't move. And yeah, so right now I'm doing the mountain range off the distance. It's not really a mountain range, mostly like what do you call it, a plateau, rock formation in the background. And I got this image from Pinterest, obviously, stock photos. And it didn't really look like the one I painted. I think the sky was mostly gray, but I wanted to do more of a beautiful blue color sky. I do like to paint kind of moody, dark clouds or skies, kind of stormy. I don't know, it just gives me kind of comfort because it's, I don't know, I love the mood, the atmosphere. I love gloomy days, rainy, cloudy. But you know, I also love to see beautiful blue skies and clouds. And you know, if it's nice outside, that's where you want to be. Right now, here we go. I'm kind of doing the bottom of the mountain range or the rock formations on the back. And like I said, the final artwork doesn't really look like the picture that I got it from, because you will see. Well, I don't really have the picture anymore, but the foreground was mostly like it looked like a dry grass, but I wanted to add some life to it, and I did kind of like a field of green mixed with some of the dry grass around it. And that's where this painting went. Sorry, I'm gonna get some water. But listen, if you find a picture that you like on Instagram or on Pinterest or something that you have taken yourself, but you know, don't be afraid to change the sky, the atmosphere, really, to kind of go with your mood. I prefer to, you know, just go with the flow and see how it turns out. Usually I have an idea of what I want to paint, and usually it's somewhere where I want to be, kind of like an escape. You know, a lot of people talk about what made you paint, you know, and people have all these awesome stories. You know, some are heartbreaking and some are tortured artist kind of story, but my story is that I want peace. I want quiet. I work in a chaotic workplace, so when I come home, I want peace and quiet. But I have 3 cats. We have 3 cats, 2 dogs, and there's always something going on here. And as I'm recording this, I have Shadow and Mittens sitting on the table, trying to pounce on whatever's on the floor. So painting something like this is kind of like my escape, and it's peaceful. It's somewhere where, you know, I want to be calm and just enjoying the atmosphere, and you know, just looking at nature and looking at all this stuff. But ironically, I suffer from really bad allergies, and right now, for example, it's really pretty outside, but man, sometimes when it gets really windy, those allergies start hitting, and I'm like, ugh, I go back inside. So it's also another kind of like a fantasy to just be in one of these landscapes and enjoy it without any watery eyes or sneezing my head off, and you know, just enjoying that. So this is here right now is the little grass range that I painted across the field, and I will admit to here that it was a mistake. So I just went with you know, making it green and trying to find a good shade that wouldn't look so accidental. So I kind of mixed it up a little bit with water and one of the yellow ochre, I think it was the color. And in a little bit you'll see the little trees in the foreground being painted. So yeah, really, it's always exciting. And like I said, these little paintings really don't take that long because like I said, the paint, the ink dries rather quick, and if I don't keep moving and making sure that I put the paint or the ink where it needs to be, then I really mess it up. So here I'm doing the little trees, and this is like far off distance, and you will see the detail in a little bit as I'm painting the trees and the bushes around it. Come on, man. Come here. So I also have Addie, one of our chihuahuas, in here, scratching her butt off. I think she's suffering from allergies too. So I need to order her some kind of tablets that will help her out. But anyway, but I digress. Here we go. And this is here I mixed green ink with black, and as you can see right now, it's a little too muted, and I wasn't really happy. And you're gonna see how I just kind of started darkening it with black, and I believe it was Van Dyke Brown from Bombay Ink. It's all mixed together, and I believe that's the color I use on the mountain range in the background. So here, this is where I start making it a little darker, adding some detail, and I like the way it kind of worked out. So this is what I'm talking about when I say, is if you make a mistake, make it work with for you, not against you. And you can always mix it up. And like I said, you can layer these inks, which is what I love about them. As opposed to watercolor, you can't really layer them that much. But I guess it also depends on what kind of watercolor inks paints you use. But here I mixed some aqua with black to make this pop a little bit more. And that little bush, was a little challenging because I wasn't sure if it was gonna turn out, but in the finished product you can see how it turned out. It's actually pretty good. So I had the TV going on in the other room. I usually keep the TV on and just have it as a background noise whenever I'm doing some of these paintings. I don't like quietness. Something has to be going on, and music is a little too distracting. I know some people like to play music in the background or have something going on, but I like to have the TV on. Sorry. So here is where I'm laying out a lighter color. This is where I mixed some of the green with yellow and white to make them look a little like the sun is hitting the trees.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
Now, some of the brushes that I use are really some old brushes that I've had forever. You don't really need a lot of fancy equipment. Some of these brushes were purchased at Michael's, and they were like $5-6 each. And sometimes you have coupons and whatnot, so that's when you take advantage of promotions and stuff like that. If you're short on cash or anything like that, but it's always good to check your emails and coupons that come in your way and use them. So here is the other set of clouds. As like you can see, they're all crisscrossing back each other, and that makes the sky look a little more realistic, in my opinion. I'm just gonna softening the clouds here with a little bit of water and white ink. And the finished product looks a little softer, as you will see. And like I said, the ink dries kind of fast, so when you put water on top of the ink, it's not going to reactivate it like watercolor does or wash paints. So that's why this is I don't know, to me easier to manipulate, but again, you have to work fast. Yeah, so like I'm saying, you have to keep going. Here I'm doing another layer, another streak of clouds going across or vertically. Here, this is where I switch. No, I didn't switch. I kind of cleaned the brush a little bit, but it still is doing a good job. Now, what do you think of the clouds? It kind of looks like planes flew over, when they leave the exhaust in the background, in the back. So that's that one right there. Here you go. Let me know what you think about this and leave a message. Bye. And there you go. That is the finished product. Let me know again what you think of it, and if any of it made sense. And leave a message or a comment below. Let me know how you liked the video, or if you didn't like it. I know I could improve in the lighting. The lighting here sucks, and I don't have any a good setup here like my husband does over there. But and just so you know, he has a YouTube channel, but he talks about beard stuff and grooming stuff and all kind of stuff like that. But yeah, I need to bring some more light into my workroom. As you can see behind me, some of the acrylic paintings that I've done in this last year, and I'll show you some more if you think this is something you like to watch. So stay tuned.